Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Cheney and I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, ages 12, 4, and 1. And today I'm going to share with you a little bit of a first quarter update / how we do our daily schedule. So when I started making videos at the beginning of the year and I was sharing my curriculum picks for this school year, I had sort of briefly mentioned in passing what our daily schedule tentatively would be. I have kind of, not drastically, but pretty heavily altered that beginning flow that we had at the beginning of the year, and I thought I would share with you guys because the beautiful thing about homeschooling, if you're interested in homeschooling or you've never done it before, you're looking into it, is that you can change, you can adjust. If something's not working, you can switch it up. And so I just thought I would share sort of how quickly things can be like, oh, okay, that's not working, we have to redo this. So this was our original daily schedule that I had. This is morning, afternoon, and evening, and this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now we have an unofficial 6th day, which is Sunday. If there's anything that, my kids are particularly excited about doing or that we didn't get to, but I want to have it done before we enter a new week, we'll do it on Sunday. But I have a pretty strict rule of no school on Saturdays. It's my day off, it's my husband's day off, and that's pretty relegated for fun time, family time, birthday parties, that kind of thing. Not so much since COVID hit have we done too much stuff, but like beach trips, things that we can do together, that is what Saturday is reserved for. And so originally I had planned on condensing multiple subjects into themselves. So what I had for in the morning, I just had all English language arts for both my kids. I was cramming into first thing in the morning. And then math, I was doing The Good and the Beautiful's Discontinued Level 2 with both of my kids together. But since then, I have gotten the Everything You Need to Know to Ace Math and One Big Fat Notebook for middle school, and my son was super excited about it, so much so when he first got those books and looked through them, he asked, can I do math right now? So I was like, okay, because he wasn't too excited about math before, so if it got him that excited, I was like, do you want to just switch and do this now? And he said, yeah, and I said, fine. So with them not doing the same math curriculum anymore, I needed to kind of figure it out. Also, the ELA at the same time, having my son trying to do Wordly Wise and his book study at the same time that I'm trying to do read alouds and grammar work with my younger son, it was getting really disjointed and distracting, and we weren't achieving much. Okay, and then for the third sort of block of the day, I do block schedule, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. So I don't do a bunch of little things. I try to have like blocks of time. So for afternoon, I had Monday for music, Tuesday for history, Wednesday for logic and health, Thursday art, and Friday was science. So, we do ELA for both my kids, math for both my kids, music. ELA both my kids, math both my kids, history. And what I found, particularly with history and science, was it was really disjointed, and I don't like that we weren't really able to, I try to weave all of the different subjects into each other, especially in my history and science. So I have more of a unit study approach to those topics, and it was like we were doing 5 unit studies at once. So I have updated our schedule. Right now we are on a break. I take a break for my kids' birthday weeks, and this particular week we have 2 kids' birthdays. So we're on a break. When we come back, we will be on our new schedule. So this is the new schedule. As you can see, it looks more full, but I'm spreading it a lot. I'm spreading it out a lot more so that we're not cramming so much into a small block of time. Now, I do work. I work from home, and I start work at 6 p.m. and I work until 2 a.m. Every day except for Friday and Saturday. So I have to sort of wiggle around my work and sleep schedule as well. And so I think this is going to work out a little bit better for us. So right now what I have is for the morning block of time, I have lightning literature and my younger son, my 4-year-old's math. So he gets the morning, and during that time, my 11-year-old can be doing his morning chores. Um, and this way, I have that time to sort of focus in on my 4-year-old, and my 11-year-old can kind of get the things done. Because that was another thing, too. I felt like I was cramming a lot in, and then we were losing, things weren't getting done throughout the day, and so we were like constantly playing catch up. So his lightning literature and his math I will do at the first block of our morning. And then we will switch out and I will do math with my 12-year-old. So I think I said 11-year-old a minute. Sorry, you guys, it's his birthday week. So I'm trying to, it's going to take me a while to get used to the new ages. But this way we'll switch out. So my 4-year-old will go, he will take a break. For the most part, all of his brain power has been used up in this one quick block. So for each of these, the lightning literature takes maybe max 10-15 minutes, and then his math is a little longer. He really enjoys like the games and stuff. So I have to kind of put that at the end, because what I'll do is he'll move into independent play with his math manipulatives. And so that keeps him very occupied while I move to doing math with my 12-year-old. And with that math, it's something that we have to kind of sit down and do together. So I wanted to just space out that time for him and I to sit together. And then in between here, we'll have lunch or what have you. And then for our afternoon, to begin our afternoon block, we'll do our kind of mini lessons in each of these different subjects that I've decided to keep in. So we'll do, these are maybe max 30 minutes, but usually not. They're usually 15 to 20 minutes. So for Monday, we'll do music, Tuesday logic, Wednesday PE, Thursday health, Friday art, and rhyme time. And I'll get into what rhyme time is. If you know about poetry tea time, I'm about to start implementing something like that into our homeschool, except we're not going to call it poetry tea time because we don't drink tea. And I don't know, rhyme time just sounds better and it sounds more appealing to my boys. So yeah, so for each day I have a different sort of mini lesson, and for like logic, that's the specific, well, I shouldn't say that. I have little worksheets for my 4-year-old to do, so we do kind of sit and do them together, but the bulk, the time that it takes for logic is with my 12-year-old when we're, talking about these sort of higher concepts. And then health as well, we're working through sex ed with my 12-year-old and the ABECA health and safety unit with my 4-year-old. And then art, I reserve that for if I want to do a craft along with like the rhyme time, but I really incorporate art into this new thing that I've added in. So what I've added in this extra block here, which would be sort of the end of my day before I have to start work, is this main lesson block. So this is like a sort of Waldorf approach, and this is just the spot that I've carved out for our unit studies. So for science and history and a bit of art, I'm folding all of that. I also fold in like literature and math, but this is our unit study main block, our big chunk of the day. And this for this year is going to be our arthropod unit study, our ancient history unit study, and coming soon I will show you I am building a prehistory unit study, and I'm going to be using a curriculum that I've never used before to follow along with that. But I really, this is my chunk of the day where we're going to just dig in deep, and I feel like that's going to work better. The disjointed nature of trying to hop back and forth between arthropods and ancient history, it just wasn't working. We weren't able to really contain anything. So we're just going to carve out a piece of the day. We're going to work all the way through that topic, complete it, and move on. And I will, this is basically like my science slash history slash art slash math slash, this is all of the topics, but it has one main theme around it. And then for the evening, so this is when I will have started work. I have carved out time for my 12-year-old to do his ELA in this time period, because all of his ELA is able to be done independently. So he can go up to his room, sit at his desk, have his quiet time to himself where he can do his book study, he can work on his wordly wise, he can do his handwriting, and then he can give it to me in the morning for me to sort of look over and give that feedback to. But I really wanted him to have time to himself for his ELA, because trying to do them both together really was distracting to him. So I wanted to give him that quiet time at the end of the day once I've started to work, and it's independent work, so he can do it on his own, without anyone pulling on him, nagging at him, asking him questions, anything like that. And then at the end of the day, during my lunch break is when so I have the kids sort of start their bedtime routine, the showers and brushing the teeth and picking up after dinner, all of that, evening chores. They start that while I'm still at work, and then once I clock out for my lunch break, it's straight to bed and we do our read aloud. So whatever read aloud that I'm doing to go along with our main lesson block, I will do at this time at bedtime. So I'll read maybe 20 minutes to them, and then they'll go to bed. So this is our new schedule. I hope this helped. I do want to say that if you are new to homeschooling, you don't have to do all this. I did not do all this when I started. You know what I did when I started? I did language arts, math, and then I did science every day and then history every day, but I just did one unit study. Everything was from the Good and the Beautiful when I started. So I did one lesson out of the Good and the Beautiful language arts, one lesson out of the Good and the Beautiful math, one lesson out of the Good and Beautiful unit study that we were doing, and then one lesson. It was the only thing I didn't use the Good and the Beautiful on, but I would get a DK book and we would do one page out of the DK eyewitness book for whatever history we were doing at the moment. You don't have to do all this. I don't want my schedule to be intimidating to you, and I want you to understand that these blocks are not a big amount of time. So, this morning block right here, maybe an hour. And that's if I'm, struggling to keep an attention span. This is maybe an hour long. And then for his math, not even that long, maybe 45 minutes of doing that lesson. Break for lunch and whatever, this, 30 minutes max. So it's spread throughout the day. Also, for dinner, I don't include it like in our schedule, but like in dinner, my 12-year-old is now sitting with us while we cook dinner, or we're having him actively cook dinner. That's a skill, that's a class, if you will, learning how to cook. On Saturdays, he's out in the shop with my husband building tables, building desks. The desk that he has in his room right now, he and his dad built together. So if you want to call that a shop class, then add in a section for, Saturday shop class with dad. It really is woven into what we do in the day. Like I said, I work full time, and my job is not like something that I could be schooling them and working at the same time. I have to be very, at my desk, in my meetings, actively working the whole time. So I have to fit in this evening stuff into my break, So if you do work full time and you don't work in the home, when I first started homeschooling, I didn't work. I worked outside of the home. So this schedule looked really, really different, and it was much smaller, and I also had less kids. Uh, and this will change too soon. I have a 1-year-old now who, before, within the next year or so, is going to end up needing her own block of 45 minutes somewhere in here to work with her on her letter recognition and her sound recognition. Right now I'm just talking and singing and playing with her. But yeah, if you have any questions, or if you want me to go more into detail about maybe a monthly or a yearly schedule, I can do that as well. I just wanted to give you guys an update and talk a little bit about what daily schedules actually look like in practice. I also, too, kind of keep a mental checklist of what I'm okay with not getting to in each day, or what I'm okay with pushing to that unofficial 6th day of Sunday, because we're not going to get to everything every day, and that's okay. Some days we might have an emotional thing, some days some people might be sick. I might have to run errands that particular day, so this is still a very flexible, tentative schedule. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll see you later. Bye!